It's been a little while since I've done a video on the Bitcoin price or the Bitcoin charts. Um, Things have worked out not quite as I predicted. Although, if you remember a little while ago, I predicted the price, in my last video, I predicted, or I didn't predict, I commented that the chart was pretty much following the trend line that I had set out in the beginning, quite a while ago, and it looked like it was going to keep following that. And also, I predicted that we should look out for a sell-off that would start at rough anywhere from around $9,000, $9,000 to $10,000, if I remember correctly. Well, as you can see, we reached $8,500 and the sell-off started. Actually, it hit $8,500, dropped a little bit, and then rose up until probably about 8,300 or so. Let me just check. Just roughly, very roughly, 8,267, roughly 8,300. And then it started its fall. Now, could this be the sell-off I predicted happening a little bit sooner? Quite possibly. You will also remember that I noted this support level at roughly just under 6,000, but you can call it 6,000 for now, for a round number. I was worried that if the price of Bitcoin ever came down and actually broke that 6,000 level, because that's a support level, we've hit that a number of times already and bounced back off of it quite successfully. If we actually came down and broke that level, then, as I said before, I would be pretty worried. What I think has happened now, or what I'm pretty confident is happening, or has happened now, is that the sell-off I predicted at anywhere between $9,000 and $10,000 actually happened a little bit early, roughly at $8,500, and we've had this sell-off now down to the lowest it reached here was roughly, let's call it $6,836, $6,850 as a round number. As you can see, we are seeing a little bit of green on the chart again. I want to show you something there. This is a one-day chart that you're looking at, by the way. I want to show you something in the 1 hour chart. Now, the 1 hour chart will be a leading indicator for the 2 hour chart, and the 2 hour chart will be a leading indicator for the 3 hour chart. All the shorter charts are a leading indicator for what's to come in the longer charts. Now, I want to show you what the 1 hour chart looks like at the moment. This is what makes me believe, or that, let me just get this up to scale, yeah. This is what makes me very optimistic about what we are seeing at the moment. Excuse me, I've been eating a little bit of popcorn and I've got these bloody husks all down my throat, stuck in my throat at the moment. Okay, now if you look at the chart at the moment for Bitcoin, you can see I have a moving average line here. This is a 50-day moving average. And over the last while, we have been below this. We just touched above the moving average here. But most of the time since the sell-off began, we have been under the 50-day moving average. And just today, just this morning, we have shot up and we've broken clear of that 50-day moving average pretty well, which to me is a very good sign, a very promising sign. But then to confirm all of this, if you look at the MACD, as I've explained to you before, the zero line at the moment is right there near the top, because we've been operating quite low down in the bearish territory, if you can call it that. And the zero is basically the neutral line. Above the zero would be your bullish territory. As you can see now, we have broken up above the zero line and we are running in bullish territory at the moment. Very nicely, I might add. The stochastics RSI is running actually slightly above, or rather in the, call it the oversold, or rather overbought area. But it's not that much above it. all these indicators, as you can see here, when this price rise happened, or when it started to happen, when the price of Bitcoin reached its lowest point in the last while, which was yesterday sometime, you can see this lovely turnaround that the stochastics RSI chart made. The blue line crossed the orange or the red line at a very at an angle very close to 90 degrees, which is always very promising. When it cuts it like that, you know things are going to happen. Unfortunately, as you can see, it made a bit of a U-turn here and then crossed it, and it's played around, but we are still very close to it. We stayed above it for a while, and as you can see, the price has risen nicely. I can try and increase the size of this so we can see what it is doing right now. Even that doesn't. We are pretty much evens at the moment. So we are not running above it or below it. We're running together. The what is it? The two averages are running close together. So to me, if that is sort of when they're running so close together like that, to me that is sort of a neutral indication of not necessarily bullish or bearish, but an indication that the current trend will carry on as it is without much change, because that hasn't changed much. It seems to be traveling pretty much flat at the moment and together. So I would look at the MACD for a direction, and that is looking pretty good at the moment. As you can see, we've got a little red candle starting there at the moment. I don't think that is any indication of a price reversal or something happening. It could well be. Anything is possible, but I don't think so. This chart, to me, I am really hoping that the bottom we had yesterday was the lowest point. It came down pretty fast and to a level which I honestly didn't think it would go, which leads me to the conclusion that I think this little sell-off might have reached its end now, and we are heading up again. As I said before, the price has shot or has crossed the 50-day moving average very nicely, and it's trading quite a bit above it at the moment. So everything is looking very positive at the moment. I haven't had a chance to actually follow the news or anything regarding cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin specifically. So I'm not. I don't know what is happening really in the news department of the crypto industry. But just by looking at this chart, I'm very optimistic. I think we might have seen the bottom of this little sell-off, and I think we might be heading up now to probably maybe $12,000 to $15,000. I don't think it's going to happen very quickly, although it might just spike and head there in a day or two. But I think we're going to keep on having these gentle trips up the price chart, and then a small sell-off to give the guys that were bought in lower down a little bit of profit, and then I think we're going to keep doing this in steps. And I think in the next couple of months we are going to see incredible things from Bitcoin. I was watching a few videos a couple of days ago over the weekend, and yes, I am very optimistic about Bitcoin. I am very optimistic about the entire crypto industry. I think we are heading for at least new highs or equal to what we had last year, December. I think the end of this year is going to see some fantastic prices for Bitcoin. When these ETFs start and everything comes online that has been planned, I think things are going to explode in this industry. Anyway, that is about it. All I have to say about Bitcoin. As you can see, this last green candle, the spike here, is also accompanied by decent volume. It hasn't really crossed the average yet. It's what is the average here? The volume is I'm not sure what it's a 20-day average. So we haven't crossed the 20-day average of the volume chart yet, but we are basically at the 20-day volume. So things are looking good. I think we are on our way up. So this little sell-off, for those that panicked about it, I wasn't panicking. In fact, not myself, but I've been dealing with my dad via Skype. We don't live in the same town, and my dad can barely operate a computer, but I have managed to get him to register an account with an exchange, fund his account and buy Bitcoin. He's actually put in a fair amount of money into Bitcoin, and he's in profit. He's ecstatic. He's happy. Um, there's been a couple of incidences of problems with bank accounts being hacked and things like that. And he's actually happy that he has some money that is not in his bank account and actually in a safe haven, put it that way, in his trading account on the exchange. And he's actually said that he doesn't want to convert all of it to Bitcoin. He actually wants to keep it as a safe bank account because the banks are not paying any interest. They're actually charging him every month to keep his money there. There's no interest on his account, so he might as well keep it in a trading account like this, where if he sees a nice dip in Bitcoin, he can actually go and buy some and sell it off again when the price rises and make a little bit of profit, which he has done now. I'm actually quite proud of him. We've managed to accomplish all of this by him just sharing his screen with me on Skype, and once or twice I've had to do a team viewer session with him to help him out a little bit. But yeah, he's managed to do it, and he's got his security on his account. His two-factor authentication is all activated, and everything's working fine. So it can be done. There's no excuses for people who say, oh, they don't know how to do it, and you know, it can be done. So anyway, let's watch Bitcoin and see where it's going. Cheers.